Heather, I think one of the most difficult things that we face is getting orders for leather where people just want a square foot or
I
two.
agree.
Hi, I'm Kevin with Springfield Leather. This is Heather.
Hi.
We kind of work in the leather department, so to speak, and Heather's one that oversees a lot of the gathering of your orders. Springfield Leather has been one of the first companies to ever cut leather for its customers, and that's worked out really good for us, and we hope it's worked out good for you. But we thought it was maybe time to do a little video on how we think when we cut leather, and this will hopefully help you and anybody else out there that sells leather by the piece. Now, we like it when people buy leather by the side. Here's a side. You're more than welcome to buy that. Don't know how big it is. It's 11.6 square feet. Now, just for your information, sometimes you'll see 2 marks on a piece like this. The reason is because it's from Europe. So they measure things in square decimeters. If you see, like, on a piece like this, if you see 10.8 and 11.6, and we charge you for the 11.6, that means we converted it from square decimeters to square feet. If you want to know how to convert it, take square, whatever the decimeter measurement is, times 1,111. That'll give you the square footage. Now you're smarter, I'm dumber because I just lost some information, but it works. So we got an order, Heather. Somebody wants they want 3 square feet of this. What are we gonna do?
Well, we're probably gonna start cutting from that end, I would.
Well, we could. If they're a customer that's standing in front of me, it's much easier. Because then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell them, assuming it's a lovely young lady, would you please tell me where you want me to cut this? And they're gonna say, oh, cut it right here. And I'll say, that's fine. That's only gonna be about 2.5 square feet. And there, we've solved the problem. But the real problem is the mail order or e-commerce. Somebody called and says, I want 3 square feet of leather. Ugh. Okay, here's 3 square feet of leather, folks. Watch carefully. You can probably see that the table is marked off in 1 square foot squares, and we get charged for every square inch of this. Just, that's it, every square inch. So I'm filling up these squares. I'm gonna use this little bit to fill in this and this. I'm not very generous because these hides, when they're measured, they're stretched and run through a machine, usually 3 times. They get the smallest measurement from the machine marked on the hide. So I'm gonna say that that piece right there would fill in this and this. So if I cut that, that's 3 square feet. But to a person who's not familiar with the leather world, is that going to be 3 square feet to them?
No, a lot of times they
Probably
won't
not.
even know
No,
what a square
because
foot looks like.
they're going to think that that's not a square foot. But to us in the leather world, it is. Now, what would really be helpful is for us to know if you have to have a perfect 12-inch by 12-inch piece, then we can do that. And I'm happy to do that for you. Howsoever, it will cost you more money. The reason for that is as follows. If you want a square foot and somebody says, I would like this piece right here. Okay, I cut that. What do I do? What do I do with that piece that's left over? There's only one thing I can do with it. I've got to put it in the scrap. That would be like going to the grocery store and looking at a few steaks and saying, I'd like that one right there, sir. It's $10 a pound, but I first want you to cut off all the fat and then reweigh it for me and sell me that. Is that going to happen? Probably not. So let's just say this is $2 a foot. If I cut it there, you can have it for 3 feet times $2. That's $6. Fair enough, right? But if I have to cut it like this and throw away some, I'm probably going to charge you $3. Now that I've cut this big hunk out of here, I've got a weird looking side, and people just shy away from that. It's hard to cut this piece off and then put it out for sale because nobody's going to want to buy it. It's a scrap at that point. Now, if you say, this is great, this is the exact perfect leather that I need, but it's got too many blemishes on it. Okay, I can relate to that. Here's a part that's perfect. Can you cut me a part right out of the middle? Yes, I can. Let's see, 11 feet times $2 a foot, that's $22. Well, how much will that piece cost me? Oh, $20.
Don't waste your time.
$20 and I'll cut you a hunk right out of the middle. Perfect. Gotta pay for this hide somehow. Now, if you want 6 feet, we're back to doing the same thing. Marked off in 1 foot squares, so I've got to fill up this little area up here, and that would just about do it. So cut it in half. You can have that part for $2 a foot. This part, we'll figure out what's left and charge for that. Not too bad. Most of our leathers you can buy however you want. Many people buy leather for smaller projects such as cuffs, bracelets, and earrings. So we get an order for 1 square foot. Can I cut it like this? I would love to cut it like that. You may not like me to cut it like that, but then again, it may be just fine for whatever you're doing. If you're doing earrings, I don't see why you can't use that just as easily as you can a perfect square foot. Again, it helps if we know. So typically, when a person orders 3 square feet, we go through the process that we showed you. Now, another thing that's extremely helpful to us when you order leather is if you have a certain dimension that you need to cut, what should they do?
They should specify that. Call us or send us an email and let us know what you need.
That really helps a lot. If a lot of people, this is very common. A lot of people will order 10 square feet, and I need it to be 2 foot by 5 foot. Well, that's just probably not going to happen, especially if you're paying for it at the normal square foot price. If this leather's $2 a foot, there's 11 and a half square feet there. So I could send that to you, but you're not going to get your 2 foot by 5 foot piece. It's just not there. You've got 2 feet, almost, but not quite. So what do? Well, we'd have to hunt through our hides, find a piece that was maybe 15 square feet, and maybe a 15 square foot hide maybe would allow you to cut a 2 foot by 5 foot piece. Maybe not. But I'm not going to trim off all that scrap and sell it for $2 a foot. You'd have to buy the 15 feet and then cut it yourself. Or I can cut you the 2 foot by 5 foot piece, and I'd probably still charge you for the 15 because I'm going to have to put that in the scrap where it gets sold by the pound. What other situations have we run into, Heather? Do you think of any?
You're really good at covering the bases on this leather cutting situation. I think one of the biggest issues, as you sort of said, sometimes, that side is not long enough. A lot of times we get people wanting, straps out of certain sides that just do not have the length that they're wanting.
Yeah. So the big deal is give us as much information as you can possibly give us all the time. Give us the dimensions you need to cut. If you need to cut pieces that are 18 inches by 18 inches, that's fine. On this hide, for example, you can see the problem that you would face because 18 inches is here. You'd get 1, 2, and the rest would be no good to you if you had to have 18 by 18 pieces. So we can help you when you call or when you email, whatever you wish to do. And we really do appreciate our customers that are willing to work with us when we sell leather in this manner, because Springfield Leather was and is the first company to actually sell a piece of leather in almost any size you want, in almost any leather, without you having to buy a full side. We actually changed the leather world by doing that. Now, we knew when we did that we were going to cause ourselves some grief, because there's a lot of people out there that simply don't have education about leather. It's not their fault. We're trying to do our best in making people smarter, because they think a square foot of leather is 12 by 12. It could be 12 by 12, but it could also be 6 inches by 24 inches, or 3 inches by 48 inches, and on and on and on and on. So take all that into consideration. Give us a call if we can be of help. We will do our best to get you what you need. Thanks. Bye.